Hi. 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 My name is Igor. I'm CTO in Paralect Venture Studio. We build MVPs in weeks and go to market in months. I'll tell you how tech and product will transform in 2022. First of all, we'll still see a continuous growth of no-code tools and adoption of the tools. We'll see more tools that will come to the areas that are associated with the typical engineering and programming skills. What is missing right now is the robust solution for APIs, including logic for computations. What is missing now is the data and event streaming solution, but we'll see more of these tools coming. And we already see some tools trying to do that. They are not that mature now, and we'll see more good tools getting mature during this year. We'll also see NLP and GPT-3 content integrated into more tools, and this year was probably the year of GPT-3. So we'll see new tools that will build landing pages for you, that will build emails that convert, all with help of AI. As for front-end frameworks, we'll still see React as a leader, as the most commonly used and documented framework. We'll see Next.js in more projects than ever. That's what already happened during this year. Already starting their new application with the Next.js rather than with Create React app or Pure React, which is actually great because React has a lot of options and Next limiting them. And due to React has a lot of options and other complexities that can be eliminated, I believe that more and more frameworks will start to actually compete with the React. Yes, new framework appearing every day, but there will be some that will be competitive to React. We already saw a great example with the Remix launch, which showed a different way to dealing with the backend logic, a different way of rendering and handling errors. And I believe these frameworks are great to not let monopoly or single framework to be dominant in the area. But not only React will be dominant, I believe Svelte will be more popular during this year because Vercel, the company behind Next.js, they hired the founder and the main contributor of Svelte to their company. And that's a great sign. That means that he has a support of the top company to promote Svelte and to adopt it more in the world. The reason why I love Svelte and Vue is that they simplify a lot of things. They allow you to build apps quicker with less boilerplate code. They have a lower level of entrance. They make you focus on building rather than endlessly learning technical stuff. So Svelte should be more prominent during this year. Databases will go to cloud and become cloud native. Data management, data modeling, data scaling are all complicated but core problems in computer science. Any application is dealing with data, and once they scale, the issues are usually in data. Data is also important to model your architecture of your application. So in order to build a good, scalable, solid application, you need to know data structures a lot and databases a lot. And databases is the most difficult piece of any architecture due to their nature. It's hard to deal with them from the application standpoint. You need to learn how to model data. You need how to migrate data or clean it. You need to understand how API works with the data. But it's also extremely difficult to manage them from the infrastructure standpoint. You need to deploy multiple instances, manage backups, keep it secure, and keep the low latency between data updates. In the high-intensive application, you also need to know the underlying details of the database and their consistency model in order to do things right. So the area is completely difficult but essential for any application. So that's why we see more databases coming to cloud and simplifying their languages. I think the most beautiful example is Airtable. Even though it's not the database in the typical sense, but it's a great choice for many smaller applications. But in terms of application databases, we also have some great examples. We have FaunaDB, MaterializeDB, Rockset, which all takes the complexity of managing infrastructure from your side to there. So you no longer need to think about how well your data scales, it just works. We see Algolia that automated the Elasticsearch deployment and created a very simple API to work with your full text search data, which is great. We see more creative options like Airtable that dealing with the huge amount of data. This all will give developers the smooth experience and focusing on the building their product rather than thinking about platform and scalability and stability of their database. Supabase is a great example of such database that became popular during this year, and they did a great thing. So they created a familiar for developers GraphQL interface, which lets you interact with the models that are modeled in SQL. They use Postgres as underlying database, which is proven and the most scalable option out there in SQL world. Besides only database, they added a common functionality like authorization and sending emails, which is not common for database per se. So it's a creative solution for common problems, which lets people interact and build their apps easily and focus on delivery and make all the management rely on their cloud provider they use or cloud database provider they use. We'll see more and more products like this that will not only include and support huge amounts of data, but also add the additional applicational interfaces that will allow to build MVP or products quicker. And we'll see more creative tools like Airtable that will deal with the huge amounts of data with the big data. Web3 will go live. Web3 is the greatest rebranding of this year, rebranding from blockchain and crypto to something new to attract more people again in the area. I like how they rebranded from being only cryptocurrency focused to something bigger than that. We'll see more products in creative economy. We'll see more products that will allow to eliminate unnecessary third parties. We'll see more products that will help creators to monetize their knowledge and their art, which is great. Web3 now bloated with a lot of money that's funded by huge venture capitalist fund, and now they are looking for more companies and talent to join their right and build more products with the tools they already achieved. We won't see blockchain area going major during this year, but we'll see some products that will actually succeed because we already have the tools to build something, but there are not so many. So this year will be the year of experimentation in this area, and we'll see more live and widespread products that will use blockchain in creative ways. Also, we'll see tons of clubs, modern clubs that are called DAO now, and DAO is another great thing that blockchain enables. It lets you to document the rules of your organization in simple form. It helps you to define these rules and create a system that will act upon these rules in any case. So we already saw a lot of DAO that were launched during this year. The greatest example is the Constitution DAO or Developers DAO. There are a lot of them now, but we'll see it for more typical or classical businesses. I know a lot of people now talking with the governments to incentivize their cities, to incentivize their countries. So probably we even will be lucky to see some country adopting DAO in their management layers and letting people to invest into their country directly with the cryptocurrency. Tech products will be focused on developer experience. We saw more products during this year that were designed with developer experience in their mind. The greatest example, once again, is Next.js and Vercel. They built a great framework that limits you but allows you to build your products quicker by limiting you with the options. They have a great documentation the great community, and when you interact with the framework, you feel pleasure rather than pain. We see a lot of other great products focused on developer experience too, such as Tailwind, CSS. Other great examples include Radix, Tailwind, Linear, LiveBlocks, and Raycast. Check them out. We'll see more educational programs that will be focused on online education with the outcome as a result. The classical education is targeted to the process and getting a great marks for your work. It doesn't force you to speak with your peers. It doesn't force you to build an actual result. You just learn in theory and making some weird tasks, and you don't understand even why you're doing that. With the new products that focus on education, we see more of them are focused toward the final goal rather than process. So you need to actually build something in order to learn something, which is actually a really obvious thought. So we did it a lot with the Startup Summer, where students building an actual product in just 2 months, working full-time with our product teams. We see now a lot in Web3 area, where people want to educate other people, so they create an automated educational courses that focused on delivering the end result. For example, Build Space allows you to learn and build your first product in Web3 and publish it and to be proud about it, not just learn something about Ethereum and smart contracts. Screamby is a great example of educational software that focus students on delivering many smaller results during the lessons. And other great feature of Screamby is that you kind of feel that you're working with your teacher or doing the pair programming. By the way, I think that pair programming will become more prominent during this year with more tools built into the area, and it makes greater sense because when you're working with someone close, you're learning from them, they mentoring you, you learn new shortcuts, you learn their workflows, and you can bring it to your work. It's not only relevant to the developers, it's relative for all the creative work out there, but developers will see more pair programming tools enabled during this year, and programming itself will probably go to cloud with the tools like Gitpod and others.